Women don't need a man's paycheck to live.
Is this you a couple seconds earlier?
We're still trying to close the wage gap in 2022.
The wage gap exists because women only have the option to work. They do not have the expectation to work. Women still have the option to use a man for his money. Find a guy who's willing to take care of her. Men do not have this option. And while women do make up a majority of the workforce, the majority of waitresses are women. The majority of bartenders are women. I can go on. Overall, men still work longer hours and more hard labor jobs than women. Men also make up a higher workplace mortality rate than women. Anyway, I digress.
No longer have to feel like they're sex objects, and men no longer have to feel like they're success objects.
First and foremost, nobody is teaching men that they are owed sex or that sex is something that they should embrace. Most men are still encouraged to suppress their urges because it's deviant and shameful. We have had sexual liberation movements for women and the LGBT community, but men are still treated like they're predators just for wanting it. Second, as I've proven earlier, women still do reduce men to their traditional gender role more than y'all would like to admit.
According to the article, we want emotionally available, good communicators and share similar.
In the very article you are stating, his source is he asked women on TikTok live and wrote their answers down and repeated it back to them. That is pseudoscience at its finest. He is not a valid source. And nowhere in this article did he mention talking to men about it at all. He really only got one side of the story, and I have confronted him about it on his TikTok. His response was to block me and shut me out. He has no interest in getting the man's side of the story. He's merely just writing down confirmation bias to women and repeating it back to them. Plain and simple, don't trust somebody who's not open to peer review. I have already made several videos debunking this article, and women have been coming into my comment section all week long, leaving comments like this. This young lady thinks that I want women to baby and save me. This woman just outright accused me of mansplaining. This lady flat out told me it's not a woman's job to give men emotional support. If you actually confronted men about why they don't open up, they will tell you, we don't feel safe because it always gets used against them. In order for men to be more comfortable expressing their emotions, women have to give them a safe place to express them. And they have to listen to empathize, but more often than not, they listen to argue. They listen to invalidate and gaslight. They can't be bothered to acknowledge there are things in life that men have to deal with that they never have to worry about. There are actually aspects in life that are harder if you're a guy, and dating is clearly one of them. Women do not have the burden of approach, but men who don't make the first move stay lonely. Do you see the problem with this article yet?
That. And for all the commenters claiming that relationships aren't worth it anymore. Hate to burst your bubble, kid, but men are typically happier and healthier when they're partners.
Strippers, doms, escort. Let's go back to what I said about sexual liberation for men. Men aren't comfortable expressing their sexuality as much as you think. It's very easy to pay a dancer or an escort to give us physical affection or listen to us bitch about our life. Destigmatize male sexuality and decriminalize sex work, problem solved. Plain and simple, women need to do their part too.